go for it. I don't care. It gives it something. It gives it something.
I just got
cool.
like the most perfect like bubbles of caramel and whipped cream just shot up mid coffee stream. That was perfect.
Okay, Justine,
Great
you
one.
begin.
I was wondering how you guys found a thread of realism to connect with these characters.
Well, that was the challenge for me of the movie is these characters and particularly Ig after the horns grow, find themselves in insane situations throughout the film, and you have to kind of do justice to that level of insanity whilst also being kind of real and grounded and recognisably human. So yeah, that was definitely something that was sort of the main project for me, and there is a lot I relate to in the character, and and there are stuff you can, you take things from your own life and exaggerate them and distort them, and you draw on anything you can, and I mean, music is a big part of Ig in the book, and so and it's part of my life and Alex's, and so we all, that was a big way of connecting with it. But just generally, like, the story, the character as he appears in the script is fantastic and incredibly well drawn, and so on a combination with that and just, drawing from whatever you can draw on, and that's, yeah.
And specifically with your character, Daniel, we see how the media and the public craft their own persona, what they think this person is like. And I'm wondering if that's something that you brought to this, your ability to relate to that experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was, one of a few things with, I mean, it's hard to sit here and say, like, oh, I felt like an outsider, because everyone views me as having had a very, kind of rarefied and incredible life, which I also have had, but it doesn't mean that you're sort of incapable of also feeling sort of isolated at times, or whatever that is, and certainly the difference in how you are perceived and how you are is something that has been kind of a constant in my life. And one of the things I think is the kind of theme of the film is you can look at it as being about what the fact how we turn into what we are perceived as.
And Juno, you're seen through flashbacks. You're seen through a very dreamlike lens. I was wondering how that affected the way you approached the character.
It was funny because, again, actually, I thought it was very important to make her very human, to make her very real in those moments. And visually, yeah, they definitely got very nicely lit.
Yeah, you're real hard to like.
But I think what was important is I think actually that is one of the most human things in the story is the love story. It really is a true love story between one human and another, and I thought that was very important that we did that serious justice, because also, we had the two younger versions of ourselves that are starting the relationship, and then there's the memories of us when we're older and it's a more grown-up relationship. But I think the key to me actually was to make those moments very human, like including something like a breakup, which I think pretty much everybody can relate to a heartbreaking breakup, and there's no way you can, fantasticalize something like that. You just got to do it,
This film is one that you can't fit into a neat category or a neat little box, and both of you in the last few years have done a lot of films like that. So I'm wondering, do you actively seek out these projects, or are you kind of the go-to actors for stories like this?
A bit of both,
Yeah, I was going to say both, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always looking for something like this, but you don't find it often, so when you see it, and it is also, I'm sure there are a bunch of actors that read the script that were like, wow, that's really weird, and didn't necessarily connect with it in the way that we did. And I think particularly with material like this, and a lot of the material I respond to, it's the kind of thing that, it finds the right people for it, because it is a little bit different, and it attracts a certain type of person who goes, yeah, that's the kind of work I want to do.
Well, thank you guys so much. Love the poster.